Can you grab one of them magnet trays on the toolbox, on the lift, and one of them orange hammers. Alright, gotta get all these off, pull this axle tube out. Axle, whatever. I'm gonna need a bigger one. Those are hard to find. All right. One axle, two axle, whatever. Right, the clip. It's a little lock pin to keep it from backing out, but I think she is a little loose. It's not been off for a long time though. The 2 9/16 is a little big, but it does work. So. All right. Where is she? The bearings are going to pop out. Try not to drop them in the dirt. back one should be held in with the seal. The adjuster, the automatic adjuster. Apparently it's been bouncing around for a little while. These brakes are worn out. They've been hot. I always recommend to do one side at a time. That way you can match it up with the other side. If you forget how these springs go or something. And I'm going to be pulling these cables off too. I got new ones. So hopefully she'll have a parking brake again. Alright, same thing on the other side. These are lock nuts that go, you know, one way. Pin. Set pin, whatever. Okay. We'll loosen this up, make it a little easier, hopefully. Oops, that's the wrong way. Was it the wrong way? They're opposite threads, or different ways in and out on driver and passenger side, depending on which way they're facing. This is a 1986, so I already took the parking brake off. They're shot. Got new ones, new wheel cylinders, even though they're not bad. New shoes. Did not get the auto adjuster, which cable, which when you back up and hit the brakes, it pulls this, pushes that up, adjusts it out. It's a 1986 Dodge Cab Chassis truck, so it's getting hard to never find parts in stock for this thing, and kind of need it. Man, that is in there. I didn't bring the tray. Damn it. Be very careful doing this. Long time ago, I was watching my buddy do some drum brakes. When I was a teenager. He was using needle nose and pulling them towards him, stabbed himself right in the face. Some of these springs are really strong. Oh man. Bend that tab up. Bend those tabs back. And voila. She ain't had parking brakes for a while. Oh no. Don't move that. I think that's a nut. I know there's bolts holding the wheel cylinder on. I think it's a little tiny nut on the back side holding this on. I have some of these laying around from a Jeep that I was doing. What are the chances, huh? Would be cool. Let me go check my junk drawer. Well, what are the chances, huh? This is bought for a Cherokee. Like 10 years ago, probably. Cool. Now I just gotta figure out how to get that off. Can't see it. And these wheel cylinders are left and right if you're changing the wheel cylinders like I am. I really think it's metric, which it's a 1986. Everything else is SAE on it. Come on. Weird. Unless it's just rusty bad enough. I'm not sure how strong that spring is. Okay, let's try to hurry up and do this. It's gonna be dark soon. Passenger side. All right. Once again, take this off the plug and put it on the bleeder screw. There we go. This one's back. This one. This one's back. Ow, that was my finger. Come on. Good Lord. That'll work. Oh man, I'm used to using a lift. I'm cramping up.
I brought you a water.
All right, that's in. That's pinned in all the way. Let's see here. That work? Yep. That goes behind that. Alright, now just gotta clean up these surfaces really good where the seal sits. If not, it will rip the new seals and throw gear oil all over your new shoes, and the brakes ain't gonna work right ever. Just back that off a little bit. Put the cone in. It's got a little bit of slap. Get some of that grease spinning around there. Still got a little slap. I like to run them till they bottom out and they get a little stiff. Right there. And just back them off a little bit. See, there's a little bit of play right there. Just feel for it, you know? You don't want them too tight, you don't want them too loose. That'd be too loose. And this by no means is no high-speed vehicle. 45, 50 mile an hour is about it. All right. And then put your lock in. The tab's facing up. Tap it in and slide the axle. And I gotta go get the axles. Make sure all this is clean. The threads are clean. Make sure that side of the axle is clean. That's the little locking pin. Said make sure this is clean also. Not sure if they make a gasket for this. I've always used silicone on them. But you must seal this up. If not, it will leak gear oil from the axle. As you're sliding this in, it's gonna want to get stuck, and you're gonna have to get it through these splines inside the floater housing. So there's no clips on these full floaters. Got to play with it, get it lined up. And these are cone washers. It's 11/16 on this Dodge 1-ton anyhow. I do not know the torque specs, I just make them tight. And even, tighten them down evenly. The bolt pattern's the same as a Chevy and a Ford, Dodge on the 8 lugs. But because of that pin, you can't use them without taking that pin off. See, the pin sticks through. Alright. Okay, this is what you're gonna need. You can get it off without that. But 1 5/16, 1/2 inch needle nose. Come on, really? Bearing cap. Bend the cotter pin straight. Cotter pin. Oh shoot. Yeah, my bad, I got a little ahead of myself. There's 2 1/2 inch bolts on the top. No. Uh-oh. Yeah, they're a 1/2 inch, just the 12 point was slipping on them. Bearing, washer, get ready to get layoed. They put a coating on these so they don't rust in the parts stores. Wipe that shit off. Now just reverse the procedure. Freaking mosquitoes are eating the back of my neck up. Same thing with this nut. The sides are a little different, see? Inch and 1/5/16. And then bend your cotter pin however you like. But make sure it's bent. Doesn't matter, I guess. Some people like to bend them all the same way. I like to bend 2 different ways. As long as it's in there, should be fine. This is the dust cap. Maybe longer. You should have yourself a hammer and screwdriver, chisel handy. Or do like I do and just leave it on the other side. And then bring it over here and then leave it over here. This is just a cheapo Amazon tool. Brake compressor, or a brake caliper squeezing tool. I've done it for a long time with just using vice grips or C-clamps. You don't have to have this, but when it works right, it does make it a little bit nicer. Just open our own up. I'm gonna try to open it all the way because changing the master cylinder also and try to get as much old brake fluid out as possible. Okay, you got an inner and an outer. On these yep, that was a good guess, huh? You want to make sure these slide nice. If not, it'll wear the brake pads all crazy and not last long. Like they're supposed to slide really good. There's a little nick right there, right there. I'm gonna get a file and clean that up. I'll be right back. So I can release. All right, and that sits there like that. And then these old spring clips go like this. Crazy, huh? Running out of memory again. I've been soaking these with PB Blaster. That's why they're coming off so easy. Did not soak that though. This ain't a normal part of a brake job, but it's not been changed in a while. The pedal's bad, or the brakes are bad. So, got a new master cylinder for it. Also, some caps. The new ones come with them. I always keep them from everything else too. There we go. Voila. Okay, I've noticed a lot of people don't do this anymore. It's called bench bleeding. You want to put lines on each of the ports, fill this full of brake fluid, and cycle it slowly and get the air out. And do not, if you put it in the vise, try to get it so where it's level, and do not clamp down on this bore tight, because you'll bend the casing and the bore in there. So use some common sense with that. Brake fluid, which I know they used to come with directions saying to do this. It can get messy. Who loves the feeling of brake fluid? This just mimics pushing the brake in the truck is all it does. See it pulling the fluid? Okay, can you hopefully see that? See the bubbles go through it. Just try to get all the air out. The more air you get out now, the easier it'll be on the truck. Okay. I'm not sure how much you guys can see with my fat head in the way, but my bad. Make sure they're still clean. Make sure these thread in straight. This is not a cross thread is better than no thread situation, because they will leak. So take your time, get them in straight. Okay, check this out. This is the best brake bleeder I've ever come across. Self bleeder, power bleeder, whatever. I've tried many. what it does is you fill it full of brake fluid. It's a vacuum pump. Put it on the master cylinder, pressurize it, and it pushes it through the system. Works great. I've bought a ton of different styles and none really work too well. This one, amazing. That being said, I've never used it on a master cylinder like this. I have the screw-on caps for all the other ones. This is the style for these. You got to make sure the hole, they're centered, and it's lined up with that and that. So, gotta make sure the hole stays in the right spot. Like I said, I've never used this cap or this on this style master cylinder. So old head used to tell me that they would put air things on here, turn the PSI way down, and feed pressure through them that way. Which this is the same concept, I guess. You get it pumped up to 3 or 4 PSI, whatever, in that area. And then you just go bleed the brakes. Had that thing for a while, actually. Okay, I'm just using this old junk self bleeder as a catch can. See it pushing the fluid? You can hear it. Not exactly how much you guys are going to be able to see, but I loosen it up first, put the thing on, put this on to try to catch it, and so you can actually see the bubbles, you know. It's pushing the brake fluid through the master cylinder, through the lines. Hear it? Through the wheel cylinders all the way out the bleeders. Without having somebody pump it, crack it, pump it, crack it. Whatever you do when you're bleeding brakes, put the freaking covers back on the bleeder screws, please. Come on. Okay. Put the wrench on, put the line on. All you do is crack it open. Not sure if you can see the fluid going through that line on camera or not. I emptied the line. See it? It's a good way to flush your brake fluid too. Best way I've found to bleed them though. But the reason them bleeder screws open is because I never sees them, and I make sure the caps are on them. Old Dodge. And always put these caps back on the bleeder screws. That's why they break off when you try to bleed them. If there ain't no cap on them, they get rust down in them. You can do the drill bit trick. That works a lot, but I think this caliber's been replaced like 10 years ago. The other one on the other side's original. Never had a problem because we always try to make sure there's. I work on cars for other people with them off, and it's a nightmare. There you have it. That is pretty much the complete brake system on a 1986 Dodge D350. Master cylinder, rotors, pads, wheel cylinders, shoes, parking brake cables, 122,000 original miles.